When Jamey Johnson lost his record deal on B&A Records, his personal life went into a tailspin, which included a divorce. The best thing that came through that time period was a song he co-wrote about that experience, which George Strait took all the way to #1, Give It Away. In 2008, Jamey signed with Mercury Nashville and released a new album called That Lonesome Song. We sat down with Jamey about the time of that release to talk about his first big hit as an artist, which came about after a conversation with Bill Anderson.
Should've seen it in color.
I was walking into a building one morning and Lee Miller, a good buddy of mine, he'd been over to see Bill recently at that point. And he said, you know, he was looking at old pictures on Bill's wall, an old black and white picture in particular that from Bill's early days, you know, getting started off in the music business. He said it was just like the whole scene was unfolding in his own mind. You know, sitting there, he was just, it was intimate to him. You know, if somebody keeps a picture hanging on their wall, it means something to them. And it was kind of cool that Bill was sitting there telling him that story. And I said, man, I said, you should have seen that in color, huh?
That's the story of my life.
Both of Jamey's Mercury Nashville discs have gone gold, and he just spent 3 months on tour with Kid Rock. Now, another group that has skyrocketed in popularity is the Zac Brown Band. We had a chance to catch up with them at Nashville's Belcourt Theater back in late 2008 to hear all about their fresh style of music and a crazy little single they had just released called Chicken Fried.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried.
Hey, I'm here with the guys, Zac Brown and the band. You guys have been on the road. You've got a song that's like flying up the charts. Tell me a little bit about Chicken Fried.
That's a good song of good representation of who we are. We've made a list of all the things that we love and the things about the South and what we believe in, and that's what we write about. And that's a good song to capture who we are, a little piece of who we are, and a little bit of Georgia. It sounds like Georgia to me.
Tell me a little bit about how you all found each other and got started.
I've been on the road for about 12 years playing music, and I've just, along the way, I've found people that it really blew me away, and then it was kind of my duty to kind of recruit them and bring them in and slowly be like, hey, you want to come over and play a little bit, and we just try to all take care of each other and make it happen.
Now you guys are working with like an amazing Keith Stegall, producer in town. He's had 42 #1s, and you're climbing the charts so fast you might be the next one.
I hope so. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. But Keith is amazing. He's been a great mentor for me and a great guy. I can call him pretty much any time, and he'll answer. And he's always got a lot of wisdom and advice for us. And look forward to working with him from here on out. So.
She got money, it blows me away. She's everything I want to say to a woman, but I don't got no words to say.
Chicken Fried did indeed make it to the #1 spot on the charts, and 5 of their next 6 singles also hit #1. We're moving on now to a longtime rocker who fronted one of the most popular pop rock bands in the 1990s. Darius Rucker led Hootie and the Blowfish to unprecedented success in their genre, but there was always something that made him want to venture into country music. He finally got a country record deal as a solo artist, and we sat down with him backstage at the Grand Ole Opry to chat with him about his first country single in the summer of 2008.
Hootie, we've always done stuff with a country flavor, and this is a record I've always wanted to make. I just didn't know when I was going to make it. You know, it was one of those things where, you know, you do so much with Hootie, and I even asked those guys the last few years. I've asked them, last couple of records, I've said, you know, hey, let's do the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band thing and just go make country records. And, you know, it never happened, and I was cool with that, and I knew I was going to do it on my own. And then I started thinking about doing it on my own, and Capitol came and offered me a record deal. You know, next thing I know, yeah, here I am talking to you guys. I'm playing at the Grand Ole Opry. That's pretty unbelievable. I wrote it with Clay Mills, who's a great songwriter here in Nashville, and Clay had the idea that he had the title, Don't Think I Don't Think About It, and you know, we just decided basically to write about that one that got away, you know, and we wrote it, and me and at the label went around and around about what was going to be the first single, and it came down that we thought that was our best shot to put it out, and it seems to be working out for us.
But don't think I don't think about it. Don't think I don't have regrets.
It doesn't doesn't sound like Darius has had any of those regrets, as that first single, Don't Think I Don't Think About It, hit #1 that September, and he's hit the top spot on the charts 4 more times since then, including his latest single, This, last month. Another artist we visited with early in his career would be Randy Houser. Cadillac, as he's known to his friends, released Anything Goes to radio in May 2008, where it took a while to catch on. We hooked up with him in early 2009 to talk about that first single and his biggest break that came when he caught the ear of a famous late-night television host.
I've caught up with Randy Houser. Now, Randy, you have had an amazing run here. Your debut single just ran up the charts. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to have all this going on all of a sudden.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of just blowing by me, Kelly. It's like, you know, I was talking to my mom yesterday, and we were talking about, she said, well, you know what, you're on TV yesterday, and she's like, did you see it? I'm like, no, Mama, you know, it's so funny, you get through doing something, and it goes right past you, and you never get to soak it in and see it. You're on to the next thing.
Now, not to go back to the first single, but I have to talk about this with you because I heard this on the radio. I'm like, oh my gosh, Randy is going to be on David Letterman. Yeah. Now, how cool was that? David heard the song?
Well, you know, it was actually, it just really freaked me out at first. But the amazing part of that was that, you know, he just happened to hear this song on the radio and wanted me on his show. Well, at the time, the song wasn't even a top 40, so it wasn't being played much, and nobody had a clue who I was, and probably still don't, but to be asked to be on that show that early was amazing. And you know, I really thought it was a joke at first, you know.
Randy's latest hit, In God's Time, is the lead-off single from his upcoming 3rd album to be released later this year. We have to take another quick break, but we still have lots more ahead, including a visit with Miranda Lambert. Don't go away. We'll be back with more great music on our special 200th episode of Inside Music Row.